Evo for the next hour. Sit back and listen to expert interviews in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Listen to such educational shows on community association law, air conditioning repairs, plumbing repairs, estate planning, property damage claims law, real estate law, wealth management, personal injury law, family law, assisted living, and men's health. Now, sit back and enjoy the next hour of Ask the Experts.
Welcome to Ask the Experts, and I am not Steve O. I'm Rhonda Hines, and I'm going to be your host for the next month while Steve O is recovering from knee surgery. We are wishing you well, Steve, and hoping that you recover quickly. Well, I'm excited tonight because I have two of the finest wealth management people in the business with me tonight. I have Daniel and Phyllis Simon. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. And Steve, I hope you're doing all right.
Doing great. Happy New Year, everybody. And Steve, I hope you're doing well.
Happy New Year to you as well.
Thank you.
I have a question for you guys. I want to know, how is your business set up? What is your firm? How is it organized? I mean, you're a mother-son team, which is kind of rare in this business. How do you guys manage to work together, and what do you do? What's your roles?
You want me to take this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, how our company is set up, I'm going to use a simple format. We have our wealth management side, which is investments, and we have our risk management, which is insurance. Mm-hmm. And how the company's set up, it's to the point of when it comes to financial planning or when it comes to insurance or investments, everybody looks at it from having 12 different people in their life, pretty much. You have your accountant, you have a CPA, you have an attorney, you have your stockbroker, you got your insurance guy, you got your property and casualty guy, and then in the insurance industry, you could have your health guy, your disability guy, your long-term care guy. So many different people that are actually working with you. So what we do is we actually simplify it for you. It's a one-stop shop, so to speak.
Which is nice. Everybody wants it simple these days, right?
Well, of course, but you also have to make sure that everything works together. So like a pizza, there's 8 slices in there. So when it comes to your life, there's usually 8 things you usually have. Mm-hmm. You have your health insurance, you have your life insurance, you have disability or long-term care, which depending on how old you are. Mm-hmm. On that sleeve, the disability starts at 55 north, you look at long-term care. 55 years old south, you look at disability.
So you're saying if you need long-term care at 55, it's a different type of care versus if you're
pretty much disability insurance is 2 different things. One is disability while you're working, and one is for when you're later on in life you need nursing care.
Oh, okay.
So it almost falls in the same realm, even though it's 2 different policies, but falls in the same realm. And then we look at property and casualty. That's on your risk side.
Okay.
Which is your home, your auto. Comes down to basically insuring everything. We can insure anything out there. So
So you manage risk.
We manage risk, yes. Mm-hmm. That's what we do out there. I'll give you, for instance, out there. You ever been into how do I put this, a sports book? Mm-hmm. Okay. And you walk into your sports book and you sit there and you see all these numbers on the board and what are these numbers out there?
Yeah.
So you see 40,000 to 1. You see 15,000 to 1. Mm-hmm. See 3 to 1, 1 to 1. What do those odds mean? So where would you put your money if you saw 40,000 to 1 all the way down to 1 to 1?
I'm going with the lower risk.
So lower risk would be the 1 to 1.
1 to 1.
Well, if I told you if you put $1 on that 40,000 to 1, what is 40,000 to 1? That's your home. Something would happen to your home. It's a 40,000 to 1 risk.
Okay.
The 15,000 to 1 is your car. Something would happen to your car is 15,000 to 1 risk.
Okay.
A 3 to 1 risk is you're going to become disabled or need long-term care.
Oh.
And 1 to 1, obviously, is death. You're going to die. We just don't know when.
And the risk is over.
The risk is over. Exactly. The risk is over. Now, you can sit there and say, how does our company work? That is the risk side. The wealth side, yes, the markets are at all-time highs right now. We handle the IRAs, the 401ks, your stocks, your bonds, your mutual funds, your investments. You can name them all through. So everything from your real estate holdings to your banking to your 401ks to we handle the whole wealth side on that side of it. And everybody has all different things, from there.
Yeah.
If I ask somebody in retirement, what is assets you have? Someone usually has a savings account. They have a 401k or an IRA. You have real estate.
Some mutual funds.
So that's your pizza pretty much. The 4 slices are You have the savings, the mutual funds that would be in your IRA, or regular brokerage or whatever that's out there. Now, people invest a lot of different things. They invest in baseball cards, they invest in coins and cars, and you name it. Those are, different things people invest in that are worth value.
Do they share that with you? They come in?
Yeah, we go from
Okay.
soup to nuts. When we ask, here, nothing is cookie cutter. So when we sit down with somebody, it starts from their life, and we look at their roadmap. And when you look at someone's roadmap, you say, this is how old you are. Mm-hmm. Now, you're going to be different than the guy sitting next to you. I don't know if you're married, divorced, kids, this, that, the
Right.
third, right? So I'm going to sit down with you, and we're going to basically map out your life. And then your needs and your
And my
wants.
death.
Yeah, right? And your death also. The needs and the wants out there. And what happens with your needs and wants, it's like when it comes down to figuring out what your tax ramifications are, what happens with this happens, and what your life goals are. What do you want to do with your life?
So you're going to help me also mitigate losses through taxes as well?
Yes, we guide you in a direction, and even though that
We help you.
we help you out on there.
We help you if there are things that you're doing great, you're doing good yourself and all that, then, we help guide you to continue doing that. One of the most important things is that we make sure that the risk is taken care of, make sure the investment side is taken care of. And as Danny said before, is that it's not cookie cutter because no two people are exactly alike.
Right.
And today, unfortunately, the industry lends to trying to give everybody the same thing, and it's not something that you could do that easily. You can give, everybody's going to look for a CD for 3% or 5%, or, you're lucky if you get 1.5 and maybe 2 if you go on the internet.
Right.
But that's something that is a short-term investment. When you're talking about long-term and growing money and making sure that you protect your family. And it's been a rough day for us. We told you personally that we lost a very dear associate that we knew a long time. And unfortunately, it gives you a little different perspective.
Right.
But it's something that we do for a living. And we try to give everybody the proper things for them. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us different.
From other firms out there?
From all the other firms out there, because we don't treat everybody, everybody's going to get that kind of a thing, and everybody's going to get that kind of a thing. We can't do that, and I can't do it.
And plus, it's not going to work for everyone.
That's exactly it.
And then you're not going to work for everyone that you have.
That's right.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because there's a fiduciary rule, and
That's right.
a fiduciary rule basically states that you have to do what's in the best interest of the client, not what's in the best
It's kind of like
interest.
your code of ethics.
Yeah, exactly. And rules are coming down the pike in the next 6 months that also how people handle themselves and what they call themselves, meaning that they're calling themselves a financial advisor or a service representative or something. What's happening is
Or
that
a planner, because an advisor and a
planner.
planner are different.
It's totally different. So you have to know what licenses you have to make sure that you're actually representing yourself properly. As we talked earlier before we were off air, what makes people feel comfortable with who they're using, you got to know who you're using,
And what their skills are.
what their skill set is. And you got to make sure that because someone says they come to you as an advisor and all they have is that one thing in their bag, and that's good for everything. It's like the elixir.
Right.
And
Or they have a special relationship with this insurance company versus
we offer every insurance company, every investment company out there.
Yeah, I like
so
that.
it comes down to being who the A+ companies are, or the B+. You have to know what you're getting.
That's on the
Yeah.
insurance side. Then we talk about investments also, where we just don't go one place, only one-stop shop. We're a one-stop shop that gives the client the
Everything they could
opportunity of getting
course.
the best product that fits
Or like the
them.
Amazon.
I like it. I like
so
it.
you get everything out there. So if you're looking for, let's say, a fund, or you're looking for insurance, we offer every company. So you have all the pricing, you have everything in one stop. This way you don't have to go out there and shop us out a million different times.
I wanted to ask you one thing, Dan, and I'll get back to you, Phyllis. What's the difference between a financial advisor and a financial planner?
Usually the advisor and the planner, it's close because they're usually pretty much licensed the same on the advisor. But when it comes to like a service representative, depending on which type of licenses you have, when someone's a certified financial planner, a CFP, they went to school to actually become a certified financial planner. Advisor basically means you have a certain license where you get charged hourly. You can start doing certain things out there. You
could get this from your bank, kind of thing, right?
A lot of banks, you got to be careful with a lot of different places you sit down with. You walk into a bank, and it happens to me also. They have no idea what I do for a living,
Right.
and I walk in there, and they say, "Oh, you guys sit down with an advisor," and then I say, "Oh, an advisor." So I'm like, "That's cute," because I walk over and I sit down, and all of a sudden they see how much I have at the bank, and they start giving me product. And
Yeah.
I said, "You don't know one thing about me, and you're
Right.
just starting pushing."
Any kind of product.
investments. You didn't ask me, married, single, this, that, the third.
What's your risk tolerance?
Nothing, and they automatically start pushing, and they push product. That's what they're pushing at the bank, and it's kind of strange at how they know when you come in with a check, and all of a sudden they steer you off if it's over a certain amount of money. They go sit down with their advisor that sells their products at the bank.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it?
Very interesting.
So they laugh when you tell them you're a financial advisor, a planner.
Yeah, I usually try not to walk into the room with them, and I just kind of start to laugh and walk out, but it's okay.
But they do the same thing to me.
Well, we're going to go to commercial here in a minute, but did you had something earlier that you wanted to add to that, Phyllis?
No, actually, I wanted to, now that we've gotten ourselves across as the listeners know who we are. We've been doing this for several months now, and just to remind them that
You've been doing the show, but you've been
The show,
you've been,
yeah, I was
you've
about
been
to
in this
say.
business for 33 years.
doing the show for several months, but I started my 33rd year in this business. Daniel joined me 15 years ago.
Oh,
and
okay.
Behind that, he had 10 years of experience on Wall Street. So, being as a partnership, all right, and clients love the fact that we have this business because the next generation will eventually take over, and which is very good. People hate to have to lose their advisors and find somebody new that doesn't know anything about them.
Comes to succession planning, which is pretty much when you start to grow with people, and you're starting to notice now, which, as I told you earlier, that I'm going to break this down in layman terms for everybody. There's greed, and then there's sympathy, right? So when it comes to the risk side, what are you trying to insure? Right, when it comes to insuring, like you buy insurance on your cell phone, you
Your
buy
house,
insurance
your
on your car.
car.
Right, so that's because you know what you're insuring. When it comes to life insurance, when you insure yourself, you say, that's great, I'm not going to be here. But what is insurance? Insurance is you're buying money. You're paying pennies on the dollar to buy money. Do you want to be greedy about it, or do you want to have sympathy about it? To me, I'm sorry, I'm a market guy. I'm greedy about it. So when I buy insurance, like, what's in it for me? Because if I don't die within that period of time, how much money can I get back out of it? Do I throw my money into the toilet?
Right.
Do I get money back from him? There's all different types of insurance from there. And people have to know that there are a bunch of different types of insurance. So it's almost like saying when they sit there and see certain things, they really need to know, I wouldn't say make yourself an expert, but find someone knowledgeable this way to tell you, what would you want? Do you want your money back at the end of the day? Or do you want it? If you use it, great. If not, the money's gone.
Right.
Somebody once asked me what's the best insurance to have, and I told them the one that's enforced when you die.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Well, tell folks how to find you. What's your phone number and what's your website?
The best number to reach us at is 954-599-1950. Once again, 954-599-1950. You can reach us on the web at www.thesimongroupUSA.com.
We're going to be back after the short commercial break, and we're going to continue our discussion with the Simons.
Hi, this is Steve O with the Ask the Experts radio show. At the Simon Group, their goal is to actively help families, individuals, and business owners build their financial freedom. They have the skills, knowledge, and experience required to help meet the client's established goals. They understand their clients want a comfortable retirement, but that means different things to different people. And there are other goals that they can emerge along the way, from planning for a child's education to planning for a managing income in retirement. That's why the Simon Group offers a range of financial strategies and solutions to help in every step of the way. They work with you to gain confidence and stay flexible and prepared for your financial future. The Simon Group serves their clients in estate and investment solutions, insurance protection, income, stocks and bonds, retirement investments, and insurance. Contact the Simon Group for free financial planning appointment today at 954-599-1950. That's 954-599-1950.
And we are back. And I want to encourage my listening audience that if you have a question for the Simons about any type of, general question about, your future and how you should plan, give us a call at 1-888-565-1470. So we left off with talking about there's different types of insurances and not everyone's right for you. Can you kind of give us a little bit more information, and then we're going to...
Okay, first of all, depending on if you're protecting someone.
Okay.
That's the most important thing. If you have a family, you're going to buy life insurance to protect. In case you die, your family's protected. There's enough money so they could stay in the house or the apartment that you're renting, that they can continue with their lifestyle, because the minute you die, the income that you earn is gone. Mm-hmm. That income's no longer coming in. Even if you're collecting Social Security, it's the same premise. Your spouse is no longer going to get your Social Security money. So therefore, how do you replace money? Insurance, life insurance replaces money. That's all you're doing, is you're buying more money. Now, if you want to create a legacy for your children or your grandchildren, sometimes if you're in your good health, remember, health is how you buy your insurance. If you're not healthy, it's very hard to get it. But if you're healthy and you're in your 60s and you saved a few $100,000 that you have on the side for your kids, hey, turn around and take some of the interest you're earning on that money and buy yourself a decent policy that can give the kids tax-free money. And that you can create a legacy for them instead of creating, when they inherit IRAs and things like that, creating such a taxable event. Remember, life insurance proceeds are tax-free.
Oh,
life insurance
that's
proceeds,
a key point. Didn't know that.
Very important. Life insurance proceeds are a protected asset, which people don't realize how important that is. And
what do you mean by a protected asset?
Well, somebody's suing you. They can't get that money. It's a protected asset. In the state of Florida, annuities and life insurance are protected assets. So if somebody is suing you, even in some instances, it just depends. If you have inheritances, many times an inheritance will be an asset that an ex-spouse can go after, but they can't get it from the life insurance because it's a protected asset. A life insurance policy is a contract between a person and the insurance company. And the insurance company promises that person that they're going to pay that third party, which is known as a beneficiary, at the given time that person dies. They cannot change it. They have to pay that beneficiary. Nobody can take that away from that beneficiary. Okay? So that's a very important contract.
And so after the beneficiary gets it, it's not taxable.
It's not taxable. And if somebody sues the beneficiary because they want some of that money, they can't get it.
They can't get it either.
It's a protected asset. Yes.
What's the average age someone gets a life insurance policy?
Depends.
Is there an average?
It depends. You can get a 20-year-old father. You get a 30-year-old single guy, depending on what they want.
All right, from the insurance aspect of it, who buys insurance, if you really look at it, millennials these days aren't really buying insurance.
Well, they can't afford rent, so...
No, exactly. It's another story with them. The best thing, depending the cash value policies are the best ones to buy when you're in your 20s and 30s.
Because you get a reduced rate, because you're healthier.
Not only that, you need about a good 20 or 30 years for it to build up cash value inside to make it worth an investment plus the insurance. What ends up happening is people always look at insurance when they need to protect something. Usually when they have children, when they buy a house, these are people that are looking at usually insurance from there. And that's the first thing they're looking to do. No one ever says, you know what, Tim, I'm going to go buy insurance.
Unless
Let me go out there. Listen, first of all, insurance salesmen are like used car salesmen. And no offense to anybody from there. But you know what I'm saying? No one says they want to go hang out with insurance people.
Not a fun, not a fun time.
Please, you get locked in the elevator.
Somebody's worst nightmare is being in a room full of insurance agents.
Yeah, which happened today.
No offense to any of you out there.
Yeah, no offense, maybe it's the insurance
We need
game.
you.
But it comes down to being of, no one sits there and it's like pulling teeth. More people plan for their vacation literally, than their retirement or any of their stuff.
Well, they wait until some crisis happens,
But
and then
you
they
know what
start
it is?
looking at it
Of
probably
course it
more.
is. When the crisis happens, that means you're uninsurable, usually.
Yeah.
What ends up happening a lot of times with people is, you know what, they'll get to it tomorrow. Tomorrow usually doesn't happen.
Procrastination.
Procrastination.
Leave of tomorrow.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the old story says, and the person that
Wait.
not only waits, but the person that today with the funeral and everything.
Yeah.
He used to always tell me every day. He says, Dan, he says, you have more tomorrows than yesterdays. I have more yesterdays than tomorrows. And I look at him and I'm like, you're really morbid, like kind of.
It's pretty.
Right?
It's true.
But it's because
well-
depending on your age and depending on where you are, and it was kind of like to the point of that always stuck with me when he said that to me.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. And every time I'd sit down with somebody, and yeah, I'm at like, if you had to say the halfway point to your life by the actuaries. What are actuaries, right? Insurance companies. They're bookmakers. They're bookies. They're betting on your life. They're betting on your health. Is this guy going to make it to this age? Is this guy going to make it from here? So
Kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah, it really is crapshoot.
Exactly.
It's the casino. Really. Every insurance company is bookies, and they basically want action, right? So they want action on your life, your health, or
And your
whatever it
death.
is. And your death. That's exactly what it is. So they're taking action. So if you look at term insurance, for instance, 98% of people do not die within that period. That's why it's cheap.
So they live past the term that they've signed up
Right.
for.
Exactly. So if you
Right.
buy a 20-year term policy, the odds you're not going to die within that 20 years unless you get hit by a bus.
So do you get more value if you live past that 20 years? What's the benefit?
No, because they're money makers for the insurance company.
Hmm.
Remember, if you live past that 20 years, insurance is gone. Right?
Well, you
Oh,
can pay
so you
a
didn't
very
need it.
hefty. You can buy a term policy for 20 years, which has a level premium. But after the 20th year, the premium is 10
Level
times the
premium means that you're paying the same
same
amount every single
for
month.
20 years.
Okay.
Because when you start using insurance terminology, people don't understand insurance terminology. So when you're going to sit there and pay the same amount of money every single month, so if it costs you $20 a month, every month costs you $20. Now let me ask you a question: if you spend $20 a month every single month over 20 years, and you got zero from that $20, right? You got nothing. So you
And the end of that 20 years is what
now,
I'm
if
hearing.
I told you bought a policy that you had to pay $50 a month for, but at the end of the 20 years you got back all your money, which policy would you buy?
I'm doing that one. The
Of
$50 one.
Of
So
course.
so those are the two choices you're saying. So how many
No,
people
they're
go for your
different.
first choice?
Well, depending
lot.
if you need, well, what's up? A lot of people because they buy with their pocket, thinking, "Oh, you know
I'm
what?
going to die in 20 years?
No, they say because they go for the cheapest route, and the cheapest route is the worst route because it's a forced savings account usually with some of these products. Like you could actually put money into it,
Yeah.
and never pay for the insurance at all because you get all your money back. So I had to give up an extra $30 more
To get
I got-
all your money back.
I got all my money back.
I'll give you
know?
a great example. Many years ago, there was an insurance company that used to sell disability with return of premium. After 5 years, if you didn't
Pass.
have a claim, you would get 50% of your money back, which created a 16% return on your money. So I used to sell a lot of those policies. Unfortunately, the company stopped selling them because they were great.
Yeah.
But at the end of every 5 years, my clients would get back this lump sum check. Now, if they would have taken that same difference of money and put it in a savings account or an investment sometimes are not guaranteed, but even if they got 5% on their money, they never would have made as much money as they got back from the insurance company on that premium extra money that they paid in. So they got back all their money plus interest, an average on a 16% return a year.
Well,
Which
that's
it's like almost impossible
Well,
back
that's the
then.
difference of knowing your products and knowing
Yeah.
the companies and dealing with all different companies and knowing what products will actually give you certain returns out there and certain products out there. Now, there are products out there. Every company is different.
Right.
Okay? So there are cash value life insurance that pays no dividends. There are companies that do pay dividends. Everybody's different. That's why when I say when someone goes to the big box store type of insurance companies and they say, okay, everything in that guy's bag has the same name on it, right?
Yeah.
No, you might need ABC company, you need XYZ company, you might need this company, that company. You might have 12 different companies from us because I brought the best of the best for that situation.
Which
Yeah.
I like. I hate when I go like to the doctor and she prescribes an antibiotic because the Amgen rep's been in, so I'm going to get whatever that person
Exactly.
was just in. I want choices, and I want
Right.
the choices that are right for me, and I want to be presented with a lot of different
Of
choices.
course, and that's why they have to give you. It's like almost saying if you're gonna recommend something, recommend 3 different ones, right? 3 different companies from there. The
So
top
they can
3.
research and then make a choice.
Exactly.
Okay, now, so how to make a legacy for your family is to make sure you have a decent sized life insurance policy, which you can gift it to your children.
Well, let me ask you a question about human life value. So, how do you figure out how much you want to gift?
Well, first of all, you say, okay, there are some people that say, I want to leave a couple of $100,000 to my kids. Each child, I have 2 kids, I want to give
And how old
$100,000 to
are you?
each. I'm 60 years of age. Well, this is what it's going to cost you. And they say, okay, that's fine. And then we find out, we have to find out if you're medically insurable. All right? And then there are some people that say, nah, I'll just give them the $200,000 in the bank. And then I'll turn around and say, why? You're collecting 1.5% interest on it if you're lucky. Why not create more?
So what do you encourage them to do?
Well, it depends. It depends
course,
if you
of
really
course, on
want
the-
to leave the kids this money tax free, or let's say the $200,000 sitting in an IRA. Now the kids get $200,000, but they're really not going to get $200,000.
'Cause they're losing
And the
value.
only way they can prevent it from really being taxed at one time is taking it in drips and drabs every year. They're getting only a set amount of income every year, which some people like, but some people don't. So it just depends. So sometimes I would say to somebody, why don't we take your IRA distributions that you really don't need and use that to pay for your life insurance. It all depends. That's
All
why.
different scenarios that you have out there.
Each
Now,
scenario.
What I was kind of trying getting at is saying human life value, which
Human life value.
I would love for you to answer the question with human life value because there's a reason for that. Because if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
You're not going to ask me that on live radio. Next question, please.
Yeah. So
No, what I'm saying is, okay,
You're using
I'm
an
going to
example.
use an example. I just messed with you. Okay.
That was my hand slapping you. I'm holding it down.
we use this one. I'll give you an example. I'm 40 years old. I make $100,000 a year. I
So
got
let me
a
ask you a
job.
question. When do
I
you
have
plan on
25
retiring?
more years of working
No,
value.
wrong. First of all, you're not working for another 25 more years. You don't retire. No one retires at 65 anymore.
No, I said
That's number
40
one.
No one
years
can afford
old.
to.
No one's going to retire at 65. I'm going to tell you this right now. So if you want to sit there and really sit there and get into it, that people are working past. Now you're working because you want to. You know what I mean? So it's not like to the point of,
She enjoys it.
She enjoys it. So it's not one of those things where she has all the luxury she wants, where she says, I'm not working anymore. It's done. But it comes down to being of people now are living longer. They're working more. So it's not 65 anymore. They're retiring at 73, 74.
75, yeah.
And they're pushing it 10 more years. So when I turn around, someone at 40 says, okay, my human life value is I'm going to make $100,000. We don't put in inflation. Why not? We put inflation right around there, right? Because it's supposed to go by 3% a year in inflation.
Which is really hard to predict these days.
Of course it is. So you figure, okay, so 30 years from now, 100,000 is $3 million. That's how much coverage I should have.
Okay.
Now, 30 years ago, and I look at these policies and, from people come in or people pass away, and they thought a lot of money was $50,000 30, 40 years ago. Now you get it today, it's like, what's it buying you?
It's a different story.
Big, because
Can't
Yeah.
even get a car.
30, 40 years ago, you
Yeah.
could buy a house for 50 grand. Not
Right.
anymore. So, how do you have to really look at human life values and how much insurance do you really need? And what do you need it for?
So human life value is basically how much more
Yeah.
earning potential I have.
Yes.
Your earning potential that you have over the next X amount of years that you're going to work.
And make that money and invest that money.
And that's why disability plays a very important role in that.
which I'd
Because
like to
if-
talk about on after our commercial break.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about long-term disability and
Right.
long-term
and
care.
short-term disability, what we call disability for people under 55, and for disability for older people. Disability income is for those that are still working that need to create an income again, okay, because they just lost their job because they're disabled, they can't work.
Right.
So they need to collect some money to be able to pay bills. All right. And long-term care, it's a different form of disability which allows somebody to come in and take care of you, or you could live in an assisted living or whatever. So this way
Or live
you
at
don't
home.
use all your own
Yeah.
money and go broke, especially if you have a spouse that needs to live on that money
While you're
in trouble and while you're not well and while you're sick.
we're going to go to a commercial break, but then I want to continue with, let's talk about the long-term
Okay.
care. I think that's an important area. A lot of our
Good.
listeners have had some questions about that. So I want you to tell your phone number and your web address again. Your
It's
website.
954-599-1950. The web address is thesimonGroupUSA.com.
If you have a question for the Simon Group, the phone number is 1-888-565-1470. We're going to come back after this commercial break.
Hi, this is Steve O with the Ask the Experts radio show. At the Simon Group, their goal is to actively help families, individuals, and business owners build their financial freedom. They have the skills, knowledge, and experience required to help meet the client's established goals. They understand their clients want a comfortable retirement, but that means different things to different people. And there are other goals that they can emerge along the way, from planning for a child's education to planning for a managing income in retirement. That's why the Simon Group offers a range of financial strategies and solutions to help in every step of the way. They work with you to gain confidence and stay flexible and prepared for your financial future. The Simon Group serves their clients in estate and investment solutions, insurance protection, income, stocks and bonds, retirement investments, and insurance. Contact the Simon Group for a free financial planning appointment today at 954-599-1950. That's 954-599-1950.
You are listening to the Ask the Experts show with host Steve-O. We will be right back with more experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Join us every Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. Now, get ready for more Ask the Experts.
What do you have coming through?
And we are back with Ask the Experts. I'm Rhonda Hines. I'm here with Phyllis and Daniel Simon. Phyllis, let's start actually with Medicare, the Medicare Advantage program. I think we'll go into that before we start talking about long-term care, because right now is it open enrollment for Medicare Advantage?
Yes, in fact, this year, 2020, is the first year that they're allowing Medicare Advantage people, everybody that has a Medicare Advantage plan. If you're not happy with what you have between now and March 31st to change it to another Medicare Advantage plan.
When did they change that?
What?
When did they change that?
Actually, the rule came in through the ACA Act, which was making changes to 2020, now allows in January to March 31st. Anybody on a Medicare Advantage plan can change to another Medicare Advantage plan.
And what is that compared to other Medicare plans?
Medicare Advantage plan is known as Part A and B and D. It has all three components of Medicare together, and they call that Part C.
So Medicare Advantage is Part C, the C
right.
plan?
Medicare Advantage plan is known as Part C, but it's A, B, and D for David combined together. So what it allows you to have your hospitals and doctors and your prescriptions all together under a Medicare Advantage plan. There's HMOs, there's PPOs. So you need to be educated in those areas. Give me a call, 954-599-1950, the Simon Group. We do deal with Medicare. We educate people. And those, if anybody is out there that just recently became disabled and that's going to be on Social Security disability, you're not eligible for 24 months for Medicare, please contact me. We could talk to you about how you can have health insurance and how you can ease into the Medicare insurance for that.
I have to ask you, Phyllis, never been on Medicare. What is it? How does it compare to other insurance policies? Is it kind of like you get the bottom of the barrel doctors?
No,
or like, what is it like?
No. Medicare. Everybody, when they turn 65, if they're an American citizen and worked, paid into the system, is eligible. Everybody's eligible for Part A. That's prescription. Hospital. Part B is for doctors. Everybody gets Medicare at 65. If you're still working, you're under group insurance.
You don't get it.
You don't have to. You still get Part A, but you don't get Part B because Part B is covered under your group insurance.
Okay.
Okay,
Technically,
as Part D is your prescriptions if you're under group insurance. But we can take an average person, is no longer working, wait until they're 65, they're retired now, they get Medicare Part A and B, and then they decide to keep regular Medicare. And they go out and they have to buy a prescription drug plan. They must do that when they turn 65. Here's the kicker. Medicare only pays 80% of what they allow. You are allowed to go to any doctor or hospital you want to.
That accepts
as
it.
long as they accept Medicare.
Is that a limited number of people?
No.
Okay. I was just curious.
Most
Yeah.
doctors in the United States take Medicare.
Okay. Okay.
However, there are people, and everybody pays for the Medicare premium. It comes out of their Social Security check, or they send a check to the government for their Medicare. Once they're eligible for A and B, and then they buy a separate prescription plan. If they decide they don't want to pay all this extra money that they're going to have to shell out,
Yeah.
okay, they can buy a Medigap policy to close the gap.
So that basically
Medicare
covers the
doesn't
copays,
cover.
the copays, and
Right. It
Exactly.
covers copays,
The deductibles.
It's like
and
gap
everything.
insurance on a lease or whatever your car. You
Same
And
thing.
you're going to pay a premium. Depending on your zip code where you live, you're going to pay a premium for it. The premium means money that you have to pay every month for that plan, but it gives you the freedom to go wherever you want to go.
freedom is good.
That's very
Especially, yeah.
important for some people.
Yeah.
Some people say, hey, I'm basically healthy. I'll take a PPO Medicare Advantage plan. So you're going to have a copay, but you got to go to a network of doctors. They'll let you go in and out of network, but you're going to have higher copay. So it's a little different, but it breaks down into those type of people. A Medicare Advantage plan could work very well because the prescription drug plan comes in
Combines
with
it all.
Right. So
It's another
like what-
one-stop shopping we've been talking about,
Right,
which makes it
right.
easier.
So everybody's different. So now the open enrollment, which has been approved, okay, just for Medicare Advantage plans. Now, everybody that's going to turn 65 this year, and if you're getting ready for Medicare and you need a Medigap policy, we offer them with all the different insurance companies. Feel free to contact me.
And you explain it to them, so it's worth giving you a call just
Exactly.
to have a conversation, because I'm
Right.
sure there's folks
Yeah,
out there
she
turning
explains it.
65 that are confused. So why don't you give your phone number again, Phyllis?
954-599-1950.
Okay.
It's better than the Ambien when she explains the insurance. You want to fall asleep every time. It's very boring. So what ends up happening is, I say
Well,
it's-
that was when back in the day when I had to learn about insurance. I used
Yeah.
to fall asleep all the
It's-
time. That's what I wanted to get across about the Medicare, just to let them know that there is an opportunity for those that want to change. They can.
They're not locked in, which is
No,
good.
they're not locked in. And you know what? It's so confusing, a lot of these policies. Like you look at them and it's,
So much fine print. And
so much fine print. It's like you have to get hit by a bus on a Tuesday between 2 and 4, and you have to
Yeah.
be going eastbound. I mean, there's so many different
So many
things.
glitches.
Exactly. So what we do is we pop the hood, right? And we start looking at the engine and we start saying, okay, this is how this works. Now, we're the mechanic. You're driving the car. You come into the shop and we say, you're like, just fix whatever the problem is in there. You know how many times people do not review their policies that they bought it? And usually
Who can read all that? You've seen those
Well,
leaflets.
not only that, but here's the thing with our industry. First 6 months, if anybody ever bought an insurance policy and it was not from a family member, pay very close attention.
Okay.
If it was not from a family member, that means they were actually looking to buy insurance. Whoever owns insurance from a family member wasn't looking for the insurance. That means that their person got into the insurance business and sold them a policy. And I hate to say it that way.
I didn't do that.
well-
I couldn't sell anybody.
What I'm saying
That's
is-
another show.
Yeah, it's another show and it's another topic for. So what ends up happening is that now obviously you want to help out the person that got into the business and you want to buy a policy from them because they just got into the business, but are they giving you the right thing? And it turns out to be you don't find out until 20, 30 years later that it's not the right thing.
It's a crap policy.
Yeah, exactly. I hate to say it, but yes, pretty much. So,
Sometimes.
and we
Not
have
always.
family experience with that, not from us, but it happens, right? So, I look at people and I say, when you bought that insurance, why'd you buy it? And what does that insurance do? Because everybody does the same thing when you buy an insurance policy. If you ever bought life insurance, you sign for it. The guy comes to the house. You're like, oh, great. He usually comes right around dinner time, by the way. I don't know why they always do that, right? It's like, don't you know there's traffic? So you buy it and you throw it into a box or you throw it into a drawer and you don't see it ever again.
Until 30 years later.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we never reviewed this. Well, how does this policy work? Well, this policy was tied to the stock market. This policy was just a term, or this policy was just, and no one pays attention. Because in the last 30 years, a lot of companies were bought out, they moved, they merged, everything else. Your agent's not around anymore.
Right.
You got to review your
needs
policies.
changed.
Everything changed. You got to review those policies, and everything's just a joke until they find out when someone passes away and the secretary of the guy gets all the money because she was a beneficiary, or an old business partner, or something happened, because people write things down.
And it's not just family. I mean, I remember my first financial planner, I was in my early 20s, put me in an annuity. I think I'm still stuck in that annuity. It's like, because the amount of money it was going to cost me to get out of it, I'm like, why? Everybody that looked at me after was like, why did this guy put you in an annuity? I'm like,
because he told you it was the right thing. Exactly. He told you it was the right thing to do. Exactly. And that's something where when it comes down to products like that and why you need a second opinion, you do. It's like, you go to a doctor, you get a second opinion. Your money doesn't cry when it's hurt, right? You feel a pain, you go to a doctor.
It just goes away to someone else.
And all of a sudden you say, yeah, exactly. You turn around and say to the guy, say, listen, doctor, I don't feel good. This is what's hurting me. The guy tells you what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't believe you. I'm going to go get a second opinion.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's great. I mean, I think that it's good that you stress that. Of course, when I signed up with financial planners, no one ever said, hey, they didn't encourage me to go get a second opinion. So I think it is important.
The guy kicked the tires, and you have to do it, and you have to know who you're working with. Here's the problem, and I say it's a problem because people want to hear a certain thing when you tell them. They want it to be yes to death. And whatever your problem is, yes, we can do that too. Yes, wrong. We're going to tell you the truth, and we're going to hit you between the eyes with it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it stings. We're not very subtle, I guess.
Yeah.
Very direct. Very direct approach.
Very direct, and I tell the people the truth. Sometimes they don't like it because I'm very direct, and
or they're just not ready to hear it.
I don't tell. Somebody once said to me many years ago when I came into this business, they said the reason I didn't sell the other agent that was with me, the reason why we didn't make the sale is because I didn't tell the client what he wanted to hear. I said, well, why would I lie?
Exactly.
And the guy said, you weren't going to lie. You were just going to tell him what he wanted to hear. I said, what do you want to hear? It's me lying to him and telling him, yes, he's going to have this, and this when he's not. And I'm not going to do that.
And I think that's important to do the right thing for the client.
That's what I based my business on for the last 33 years. And I'm very proud to say that because I won't lie to the clients. The clients, may not want to hear some of the things that I have to say, but I have to be honest with them. And they
of course, you have to be honest with them. You have to be
more.
honest with everybody. It's number one, first and foremost. And which brings me up to a point about being honest with somebody. There's an issue out there, and people that I know or people that I've seen, and sometimes it's a little too close to home to give somebody advice, right?
You mean like a relative?
A relative,
friend?
a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. You see somebody you're a little too close with, and you start to see that they're getting very bad financial advice, and you're like, wait a second, why are you struggling? Why are you doing this? You have things that you can pull from, you can do from, but no, they told me this, and you don't want to step on anybody's toes,
right?
You don't want to be like, all right, you know what, that's what you got, but here are your options from here, right?
Yeah.
So it's like when you go somewhere or you see something and you sit down and being like, why do you have to put yourself through certain things because they don't know what their options are? People are afraid to ask sometimes. So if they turn around and ask you and say, hey, here's my situation, what would you do? From there. And I see it now in a situation where it's like someone's, things got a little tight, and all of a sudden from things get a little tight where it doesn't have to be tight. You might have money put away somewhere that you don't know you have access to that money, or there's things that you can do that you could pull from out there.
Right.
A lot of people don't know they can pull from their life insurance. That you get tax-free money from borrowing money against it.
So there's no penalty from pulling from your life insurance?
You're borrowing from it? No, depending on the company, depending on what's happening.
And then you have to pay it back within a certain number of what?
If not, you could, or it comes off the death benefit.
Oh, so you just okay.
Let me make it.
We're going to have to go to a commercial break. So why don't you make that final point, and then we're gonna go
That's
to
all
a
you.
commercial.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm listening to you,
All
Phyllis.
right. In life insurance, cash value policies, you can borrow from yourself, okay? And it could be done for a business. It could be done for, God forbid, a divorce. It could be done for getting money for your kid's education. It could be done for any number of things
Wow.
that you need. You can pay yourself back as little as maybe $25 a month.
Or not pay yourself back.
Or not pay
Or
it
not.
back, but you pay the interest every year because life insurance policies do charge interest on that money. Even though it's your money, they're paying you from a general fund. That's why the loan is always deducted from a death benefit. You
So if
follow
I
what
take
I'm
that,
saying?
so if I take that money early, I'm going to be charged an interest rate by them,
Yes, in other words, let's
and
use
so they're
an
going to deduct
example.
it off my final final
It's
tally.
like almost
Right. Let's
infinite
say-
banking with yourself. So it's like one pocket to the other. You're
It's
paying
going-
yourself back.
Right.
But, the
but there's
interest
some
rate,
interest.
that's why you're getting it back tax free to yourself, meaning that you're
That's
borrowing the money.
why-
Okay.
All right, and that's very important that you understand that people understand that they take loans against their policies and they never pay back the loans or even interest. Interest capitalizes on a loan. So if the interest keeps capitalizing and keep doing it, and some people let it go for 20, 30 years, all of a sudden the policy goes up. Oh, I bought my policy from that company, and that's
So then
no
they end
good
up owing
anymore.
money. They owe the
and
interest.
they screwed my mother out of her money.
Because
and
half
they-
the insurance agents do not know about the policies to begin with. They don't know the products.
They don't.
And you know what it is? They think they know the products, but you really have to go through. If you're buying something, you got to know. When
you
you buy a
have.
car, right? And if I ask you what kind of car do you drive, you can tell me what kind of car you drive, right? Mm-hmm. You know how much you pay a month for it.
Right.
If I told you, okay, you're paying $400 or $500 a month for that car, it's really average, right?
Right.
And I said you're paying $400 or $500 a month for this insurance policy. What's under the hood of that insurance policy? You can't tell me. You don't even know what it is. If I tell you what kind of insurance policy, I have no idea. But you can tell me what's under the hood of your car. You can tell me
Yeah.
what color
Right.
your car is, what
Right.
the seats are. You can tell me all that stuff about it. So what you have to do, and I don't care if you have any insurance product from any company, life insurance, annuities, you name it, you need to call for a review immediately. 'Cause I'm going to tell you what, I was just thinking about this as I was sitting here, because I started to review some policies this morning when I got into the office. Just so happens to be sitting there, and I'm like, oh, this is something I had to do for tomorrow. And I'm like, how does this product really work? Because it was a variable product where it was tied to the stock market.
Yeah.
And then, but certain companies keep on charging you internal charges, and the market goes up and down, and internal charges.
Sounds like these adjustable rate mortgages.
Exactly what it is. So basically, it's like an adjustable rate mortgage that the cash value gets eaten out because they're underfunded, because the guy told the person to not overfund it, but just give just so much into it, where the policies blow up.
It's a little sneaky way to.
Of course, it's a sneaky way, but any annuity, any life insurance, anything, call for review. We review every company.
And that's why you're needed. I mean, you'd be worth basically coming in and just talking
It's
to you
free.
and making sure what you have.
Do it for free. Listen,
Give your phone number and website again.
954-599-1950. The website is thesimongroupusa.com.
And we're going to go to a short commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about long-term care.
Hi, this is Steve O with the Ask the Experts radio show. At the Simon Group, their goal is to actively help families, individuals, and business owners build their financial freedom. They have the skills, knowledge, and experience required to help meet the client's established goals. They understand their clients want a comfortable retirement, but that means different things to different people. And there are other goals that they can emerge along the way, from planning for a child's education to planning for a managing income in retirement. That's why the Simon Group offers a range of financial strategies and solutions to help in every step of the way. They work with you to gain confidence and stay flexible and prepared for your financial future. The Simon Group serves their clients in estate and investment solutions, insurance protection, income, stocks and bonds, retirement investments, and insurance. Contact the Simon Group for a free financial planning appointment today at 954-599-1950. That's 954-599-1950.
Okay. And we are back with Ask the Expert, and I'm Rhonda Hines here with the Simons, and we have a caller. Our caller today is Tyrone. Tyrone, what's your question?
Well, I have a few questions for your host. First of all, I'm in my 20s, and I have a small company, and we're doing pretty good right now. So we want to know how we can make the money that we make, how can we make it grow? Like, what are the things that we could do to make the money that we're making grow, like, into a larger amount?
Well, depending, first of all, my best advice is reinvest in your own company if it's working.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, by reinvesting in the company, can you tell me, like, can you give me some tips on, like, and what I can reinvest? Because, like, the things that we're doing right now, we do remodeling, and so we're doing construction, basically.
oh, do me a favor. This is what we're going to do. You're going to get a call at the office tomorrow, and we'll take this offline, and I'll sit down with you. I'll go over everything with you. This way that we can go from, instead of a 2-minute explanation to you, I can give you some time, and we can actually go through your business and everything else, and you're going to tell me what your needs and your wants are, and I can tell you if you're, on the right track or if something's happening. So give me a call tomorrow at 954 599-1950.
Okay. I'll give you a call, and then I'll be willing to come to your office and talk to you about finances, definitely.
Perfect. Sounds like a plan.
Thanks for your call,
Thank you so
Tyrone.
much.
I think
Thank
that's
you.
great. I mean, you have someone in their 20s who's looking to, grow their wealth and start early, and I think that's important. I think starting early so that you can have a nest egg by the time that you're in your retirement age.
Right.
That's
very important. We talk about people, so nervous today about running out of money while they're still alive. And that's one of the most pressing problems, because most people do get Social Security benefits, and they have some IRAs, and some have a lot, some don't. So some can't budget themselves well enough, and some
Budget
just
themselves too
have
Yeah,
a
well,
lot of
some,
money.
listen, you gotta
Everybody's
live,
different.
Time on, you gotta live your life. Now, you live every day to the fullest, and this is something where,
I
know what,
agree.
you kind of, with the crocodile arms, right? Like, should you buy it? Should you spend the money? Should you do that trip? Should you do everything from there? I know you're waving me off, but I understand that you gotta live your life, because guess what?
He lives for today, you live for or he lives for
Yeah,
tomorrow.
you got to live your life, but I'm just saying what people should do so they don't outlive their money. Enjoy their life, but make yourself a budget, okay? Invest the
reasonable.
money.
That's
The most
reasonable.
important thing is having a good budget goal, okay? Most other thing is that if you're still working, keep saving, okay? Invest your money wisely.
Well, that's funny you say keep saving, because since 1980, all these companies you work for stopped giving benefits of pensions. They stopped giving.
Some did, some didn't.
What do you mean
Depends.
some?
Some
It's
did,
down
some
by
didn't.
80%. It got wiped out.
1984, 401ks came into place, and that's where the average person was supposed to put money away. But since the last 10 years, most companies stopped matching the
How many
contributions.
people are lifers with companies? Nobody anymore.
Very true.
It's 5 to
So they-
7 years. That's the average stint someone works.
You're right.
Hold on. Stop talking for a second. I'm going to tell you. I mean this in a nice way. There's a reason why I'm saying this. That people go to put money away. Listen, I understand what time it is. It's time for people to wake up to put money away for themselves. That's what time it is.
That's what I'm trying to
Because-
say. That they continue saving, okay? And then they try to make sure that they're out of debt by the time they hit retirement. So at least that they have enough money to be able to support themselves, and that their money's invested in a decent portfolio that will continue to make money for them. Not to be aggressive, because that's the worst thing you could do when you're in your 60s and 70s.
But let me ask you a question. These kids are coming out of college now.
Those kids should
They spent $200,000 to get an education, and they can't find a job,
And they're in
That's
debt.
true.
and they're in debt.
That's
And
Can't
next
true.
thing
afford
you know,
rent.
That's
this is
true.
what's happening. So what's end up happening is we have a few minutes left, but what's happening is that you have to start saving as soon as possible, even though if you can't afford, pay yourself first.
I would say for every $100 that you get, put away 10.
For every
10% even.
$100 you get, put away 10?
10,
I think that's good
exactly.
advice. 10%.
That's easy. It's
Yeah.
easy to do, because you can throw away $10 on something stupid anyway.
Yeah.
Chipotle.
That's where
Or
your $10
Starbucks
goes.
at this point. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's an important point. I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's definitely just start small, start the habit,
Right.
Yeah.
and then
Right.
eventually.
It becomes easy. It becomes to throw the money into a savings account. Just throw that 10 like you've never seen it. Just put it away. Because if you did a 401k and they matched you and it came out of your paycheck and you didn't see the money when you cashed your check, you never knew you got it.
Yeah. Now, I know there are a few companies that still have pensions, but it's so rare. I mean, I know people who, my friend's father stayed for this company for 30 years, and then it's like, oh, by the way, we're not giving you a pension anymore. I mean, he passed up higher paying jobs,
Right.
opportunity, and it's just like,
I got rid of,
Oh, that
they got
happened
rid
to
of
you on
my
Wall Street?
pension. Yeah, they got rid of. They said no more pensions, no more this, no more that.
wow,
So
devastating,
a lot
right?
of
When you're planning to go that
companies do
way.
that.
Yeah.
And today, so therefore, I just recommend that everybody has to be socially responsible for themselves. That's number one.
Right.
And another thing I want to just bring out real quick, we're supposed to have seminars in January, February, March. I think we're going to start one in February, and we'd like you to call us at 954-599-1950 to find out when our seminar is. We're going to do one on long-term care, which I think would be an excellent seminar for
Yeah.
everybody.
And that's it, folks. We thank you for joining us for Ask the Expert, and we will see you or hear from you again on Thursday night. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Ask the Expert Show, featuring interviews with local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Call our office at 888-574-6999 to become one of our experts on the show. And tune in again next week for more Ask the Experts with Steve-O.